Well, welcome along, guys. Hope everyone's had a really good weekend. I've had a smashing weekend. Just one of those nice, like wholesome weekends. A lot of stuff with the family. Went out and got lunch and bits and bobs yesterday. New toys for the kids. Today, drove up to Plymouth. Needed to have a phone repair done. Went to the aquarium. Just did loads of cool stuff. It was just fun. Just a good weekend. Um, Hope everyone had a good week. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. Hope everyone's ready for next week. We are now at the end of this 4-week program. Um, if you haven't watched the first 3 weeks, I do highly suggest going back and watching them because I think we covered a hell of a lot, to be honest, over 4 weeks. I mean, I'm going to continue doing these, maybe on like a 2-week thing. I don't know yet, or just I want to just be able to build up lots of decent amount of content, get some feedback from people as to what they're kind of struggling with or what they could do with talking about. And then maybe every 2 weeks or something, we do a live session, or if it's there, we'll do it weekly or whatever. So I'm cool doing it. I enjoy doing it. The feedback's amazing, and I see people doing better. So yeah, I'm more than happy to keep going. So how do I go back and watch the other 3 videos? They should be in Jason's. They should be in the education section heading in the WhatsApp group. They're also on my YouTube, which once this is done, I'll post the recording into the group anyway. Then you'll be able to subscribe to my channel, and you'll see the other three there, and you can watch them from the beginning. Then all about an hour each. I feel like we covered absolutely tons over the last 4 weeks. Yeah, it's been cool. Been really, really proud of it. So obviously in week one, we looked at kind of just mindset. We just kind of talked about everything mindset, a really good intro into the sort of problems that people are having, the sort of mindset that you're going to need for trading. Week two, going into emotions, talking about controlling them. Week three was a very important week last week, which is risk management. And yeah, now we're into routine and discipline. Discipline, the D word. The D word is, in my opinion, it's the be all and end all with trading. It's the everything word. It covers everything. Everything that we're going to talk about today is all controlled with discipline. I'll get into it in a minute anyway. But first of all, homework from last week. How did everyone get on with this? I feel like it was a really good week this week. I think Jason's group and stuff has been absolutely smashing it. Friday was a perfect example of like the differences between two different trading groups. You've got Jason's group, doing really, really well. Gold Standard wasn't really performing. Just two different strategies, two different traders. But realistically, if your risk management was on point, you're either going to be, you shouldn't be too much down. It shouldn't be something that's going to be affecting you mentally, sort of going into next week. And the other side of the spectrum is obviously I saw a lot of great posts in Jason's group this week. Well, on Friday especially, or all week to be fair. And we don't want to have that overconfidence running into next week. It works on both sides. Whether you're down last week and you're looking keen to trade tomorrow, or whether you've had a fantastic week last week, you're looking to trade on Monday, and that overconfidence. It's all about finding that kind of level. I've always just sort of described, like, if your trading is like this, like up, down, up, just looking like an accumulating chart. Like you're up here, you're high, you're low, you're high, you're low. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. Your trading graph of your own emotion and your own psychology should just be a nice steady line. It's just going sort of up and down, just like beep, beep, beep. Just simple, You should be, the more up and down you are, the more emotionally trading you're going to be, the more reactive you're going to be, the more likely you're going to make bad decisions. And what comes with that is big wins and big losses, and you're not really going to get anywhere. It's so much more effort to be that kind of trader where it's just up, down, whereas controlling yourself, consistent, steady, disciplined growth, that's the goal. That's where we want to be. So how did everyone get on with this last week? The risk management. I feel like from what I've seen, it's it's played quite well. Were we writing down were we sort of figuring out at the beginning of the day what our maximum risk should have been per trade? Were we doing that? Were we writing that down? Did anyone actually write down every time that they over leveraged in the week? Did we have anyone that didn't over leverage this week? Stick it in the chat. I don't expect anyone would have written down every single time they'd over leveraged. Nice to think they did, they would, but no, no one, no homework this week. Nah, it's fine. Loose cannon. Oh God. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, it happens. It happens. It happens. Maybe over and over again it happens until we start trying to change something. Um, I don't like it's strange sometimes coming from like, when you see a general chat and the way that people sort of talk about trading in the fact of like, I don't know, it's like the joking side of it, isn't it? Um, I think trading can very quickly be discussed in like a gambling term of like, oh, just full port this, just do that, and fuck the stop loss and blah blah blah. And I just think it's such a I don't know, like I don't know, I find it detrimental in that kind of way, but like yeah, I get the kind of jest behind it, sort of thing. Um, I did over leverage, but I didn't write it down. No, that's cool, mate. It's cool. But it is good to start. Like the journaling is really important. Like we'll get onto it in a minute. Like the actual kind of writing down your stuff. I know guys that are in my group and stuff like this that are naturally writing down what they're doing, and they have a really good grasp as to where they're improving, where they're not, what their own personal sort of strategy within this strategy is doing, and they're looking at the results. Um, but it is funny because if you start writing these things down, write down every time you fail and stuff like that, and actually start looking at it, you actually start giving yourself data. You give yourself data, like you have a history, you have something to improve on. Like realistically, if you're not writing things down and you're not journaling in any way, last week is just gone. Like yeah, you might be, you know, on a high from it or a low from it. It doesn't really matter. But as soon as we start this week, that week's now gone. You're not going to remember every single week of your trading. Just get yourself a book. It doesn't have to be anything special. Like there is trading journals and all sorts of special books out there. It just needs to be a notebook. Just get yourself a notebook and write down as you're going. What you'll start finding is don't want to actually write. You'll start actually sticking to your rules because you don't want to actually write in the book. You don't want to be telling yourself off, or you just don't write in the book, which is where discipline needs to come into it. I put 3 positions with a 0.02 lot size and all hit stop loss. Yeah, that was gold standard this week. Friday, wasn't it? Yeah, it wasn't the best. I'm risk averse generally, so I only ever do max 2 trades at 0.01, but it's only my 4th week, so I'm still learning. Me personally, I'd probably benefit being a tiny bit more risky. Yeah, I mean, it is like you do have to get involved. You do have to get involved with it, and you've got to be able to sort of push your own tolerance, but you need to do it slowly, and you need to be self-aware of it. You need to be self-aware of how that's making you feel. Like I said last week, when we're talking about risk management, if you're in a trade and you're biting your nails and you're panicking that you're going to lose the amount of money that you're risking, more than likely you're risking too much. You can get around these sort of things with like if you've got a large account with large amount of money, put a smaller amount into another account and just trade on that one. So I do. Like it, and it kind of gets rid of it. It kind of gets rid of that mental block of like, okay, I could like there's an amount there that hypothetically I could lose, but like I don't need to see that number. I want to go back to my smaller number that I was doing really well with. 2 times over leveraged was the 2 SLs on Thursday killed me. I mean that's just bad luck, isn't it? I struggled this week with my lot sizes, if I'm being honest. Over leveraged a bit. Sorry. It's okay, mate. You don't need to apologize to me. I'm not enough paper to write my mistakes down. 3 days, bad losses, back to zero-ish. Thursday, Friday, pullback to profit 2 days. Yeah, fantastic. Well done, Steve. And you know, people say zero, you know, you go back to zero, like, but then they had a profitable week the week before, and it's like you're not really at zero, and zero's you haven't made a loss. So in my eyes, that's protecting your capital, and that's you know, break even at the end of the week is a win. If you've been trading and you know it's been a rough week or whatever, you know, break even realistically means risk management is on point and you haven't lost anything. Remember, what is the two main rules of trading? Number one, protect your capital. Number two, make profit. Like the number one comes first, no matter what. I got lucky a couple of times by not using a stop loss, and it would come back. Then it didn't come back and blew my account. Yeah, I spoke to Will this week. Really disciplined with my rules this week and lost overall, but happy as I stuck to my rules. Yeah, no, cool. We had a chat this week as well. But yeah, you know, it's probably like a classic case of like, you know, if you're not using a stop loss and you have that mentality, or you're in a trade and you're biting your nails because now your risk is 5 times, 10 times what you had it before, and in your head you're saying, well, it has to come back up at some point, or it has to go back down at some point. It doesn't. It doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't need to. It doesn't owe you a favor. You are hoping and praying. Hoping and praying doesn't have a place in trading. We need to be methodical traders, you know, and hoping and praying is no part of a method. It's just not part of it. It's just not part of it. I will never let that, well, yeah, do that again. I assume that was supposed to say. Yeah, exactly. And like, it's like putting your hand in fire and getting burnt, isn't it? You know, we're human beings. We learn. We learn from pain. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be physical. You know, it could, like mental pain is almost worse sometimes. You'd always take the physical pain over the mental pain. It hurts. It fucking hurts. Believe me, I've been there. It hurts. And, you know, we don't want to do that. I won on the Grand National to say. Well done, mate. Well done on the Grand National. Happy to take the SLs. Yeah, see, like if you go and lose a big bulk amount, all of a sudden, your small little stop losses where you're risking what you should be risking, don't look so bad, do they? You know, like let's be making sure we are, yeah, we're, like again, I don't really want to hit here. I'm not using a stop loss. Stop loss protects your capital. Like it's rule number one. It's got to be rule number one, isn't it? Place a fucking stop loss. Yeah. So let's move into this week. So discipline is such a massive word for me in trading. I like over years of teaching. Drug-free childbirth is better than 2 stop losses in a row. Yes, Anna. I'm going to do my best to stick with just the one group. Yeah, 100%. And that's something that I tell people as well. That why is there a line on there? Somebody draw my thing. Anyway, whatever. It's too technical for me. I'm going to do my best this week to stick to just one group, Jason's. Yeah, 100%. And like I say this to anyone, like we are now offering realistically quite a few trading groups, whether you're in the gold standard, gold trading community, Jason's group, whatever. Like, I think it's great that we can offer all of these groups because they all vary slightly. And realistically, it's about finding something that works for you. You know, I've had people that one doesn't work for one person, works lovely for another person. You know, it's about finding what works for you and, you know, and sort of moving with that. But it's so important to just mute everything else. Do you know like how detrimental it is to follow multiple multiple trading groups, multiple trades, all with different trading plans? Like, oh my God, like just please, like if whatever group you like, mute the other ones. It makes no odds to us. Like just mute the other chats because it's not you're not going to do yourself any favors by thinking, oh, more trades, more money. No, it's not the way it works. You need to be sticking with a trading plan for that like the way that trader trades. Follow that, smash it. You know what I mean? Execute, 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 just over and over again. Same thing. Otherwise, you're split in between. Like the trading plan is so important for your own mindset and for your own discipline, for everything. One, they don't work the same. And if you're jumping from one to the other, yeah, it's not going to do you any favors at all. And I don't think I've heard a single good story about somebody like jumping from one to the other. Which group makes the most money? Haha. Now I've come to that in a minute because it's not quite that simple. Because this is the thing: people don't have you don't have a strategy problem. All of the strategies work. They all work, and they're all profitable. But how come we teach these things? And say we have one group. So we have one group, and everyone in here is trading that one group. Why do we have different results? Why does everyone have different results? Why are some people profitable, some people not? Some people make like break even. Discipline, mindset, like it's each to their own. And like even if we're all trying to follow the same discipline, the same idea, it's all going to be different again because we're all different. We're all different. We all have a different opinion on money. Like money feels different to each and every one of us. Money means a different thing to each and every one of us. Like, £10 for £10 to one person is £100 to another person. £1,000 to one person is the same as £10,000 to another person. As to how sort of risk averse you are to the actual money itself. So it changes so much. We don't have there's no strategy problem. All the strategies work, and there's loads of strategies out there, loads of them. Like it's a discipline problem. I think the thing is, like everyone in here, unless you haven't like listened to any of these sort of sessions, but like realistically, you know what to do. The problem is you're just not doing it. You know what I mean? And I can't make you do that. You have to do that by yourself. I like to compare it to like think about things in your life that you are disciplined with. You know, I like one example for me is a bit of a like non-negotiable, but it varies as to how disciplined I am. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I've been diabetic 19 years, going into 20 years next year. Actually, 20 years. Oh, it's 20 years soon anyway. I have to be disciplined with that. Don't get me wrong. It's something I have to do to stay alive. I don't have a choice. But depending on how disciplined I am, is basically going to affect how long I live and how long I'm going to be around for my kids. So I have to be disciplined in what I eat, what my blood sugar is doing, how much I'm injecting, how much I'm looking after my diet, all of these things that I do daily. Like, and I still have bad days. I have bad weeks with it. I like whatever. Like sometimes it's out of my control. But like I have to be as disciplined as I can to know that I'm actually going to have a better later on in life. Another example is going to the gym. Like some people are going to be obsessed with going to the gym, absolutely obsessed. Like that's where, you're like, you won't always be motivated, but but you will always be disciplined, and you kind of do it quite easily because it's like you're seeing gains, you're seeing yourself get fitter, you're losing body fat, you're looking good, and you're getting these results. There's nothing different to that than this. Like you remain disciplined, you will see the results. You will see it. You'll see it in money form. Like take away from this, start thinking about you personally and what you're disciplined in. Give me something that you're disciplined in, an area that you're disciplined in, and work on that. Well, think about that. Why am I so disciplined to that? And how do I make that work? Lots of people in here run a business, and successful businesses. What are you doing that makes that successful? You're getting up every day, you're going to work, you're putting in invoices, you're smashing jobs out, you're getting it done, and you're being disciplined to do that. Yes, I'm sure you falter sometimes. But realistically, over the grand scheme of things, in the long game, you're doing very well and you're building a business. Just another example. You know what I mean? So like think about where you're disciplined. If you're not disciplined in anything, start working on discipline. Make this the thing that you're going to be disciplined with, because it's like it says on the screen, it's the difference between profitable and broke. Like it says there, a good system without discipline, you'll blow an account. So you can have a fantastic, which is what we do. We have great trading methods, and they're great scalping methods, and they're simple. They're very simple, but people are still blowing accounts. You can have an average, and not even a very good trading system, maybe that's giving a 30 to 40% win rate. But if you're fucking disciplined and you're hitting those 1 to 5s, 1 to 6s, or whatever the trading plan of that low win rate, high reward system gives, you're going to get consistent profit. You see what I'm saying? Your results reflect your habits, not your knowledge. The knowledge is there. Like the knowledge for the actual trading is there. It's done. You know, it's there in front of you. You know how to do it. It's your habits that's changing things. Again, like real time, like put it back into real life. Start looking at those habits that like are forming what you're doing in trading. Like again, like I said this in week 1. Like if you're getting fucking angry at the charts and you're losing your temper, but I don't lose my temper with the charts. I haven't done for years. And like, if you're someone that, like, I always go back to it just because it's quite an easy one. But like, if you're someone that loses your temper, like, say you lose your temper at work or you get angry at, I don't know, whatever, people, your kids, whatever, like, you have a short fuse, work on that. Work on that outside of like when that thing that's pissing you off is happening again and you're about to fucking shout, scream, or do whatever, kill it, walk away. That's discipline. You're showing discipline to be able to move away from the situation, making a fucking change, making it like changing that split-second decision. I'm a discipline expert, but not consistently. My challenge is consistency. Yeah. Yeah. But to be consistently disciplined. They go hand in hand. They literally go hand in hand. Consistency and discipline. You know, they have to work together. I think a big problem is that we react differently to each separate trade. For instance, I always start off cautious on a Monday morning, and if gold moves nicely, then I keep cautious. But when gold moves like a motherfucker, we act like a motherfucker. So it's hard to stay the same with each trade as they are so different. Yeah, 100%. And the market will do whatever the fuck the market wants to do. But that's where the discipline has to come in. Like that's where the discipline is most important because realistically, yes, the market will do whatever it wants and it'll move wherever it wants. But like, so we obviously see big moves in the market, right? I used to look at it. I used to look at the markets. I used to look at the news events and and I always used to look at like my expectations and how much price would move over like CPI or any kind of news of FOMC or NFP or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, that's where the money is. Like, imagine if I had this here and like if I took profit like fucking somehow right where it fucking ended. Like that'd be like $4,000. Like fuck, like that's where the money is. My opinions quickly changed with that. Well, not quickly. Took a while. But like over time, I'm completely opposite now. I stay away from news events. I don't like volatility. I like volume in the market, which gives us the patterns that we want. You know, I don't like volatility. I want the market to do what it's going to do. I want it to accumulate. I want it to manipulate, and I want it to distribute. That's all I want it to do, and that's what it does over and over again. You know, it bounces off trend lines. It bounces between support and resistance lines. Creates liquidity. It takes liquidity. That's all it does over and over and over again. The big fucking news events and the big things and the big shifts that we see are just part of it, you know? And like, I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, you'll have a liquidity sweep or whatever, and price will move very quickly, stop people out or whatever, and, you know, or enter you and then stop you out very quickly. But realistically, you just haven't found the right entry, you know? And I get it. I get it. One moves into the other. One feeling like that, like on the screen there. Common discipline killers, overtrading, moving stops, FOMO entries. So fear of missing out entries, revenge trading, you know, jumping back in, like jumping back into something like a trade that wasn't posted just to revenge trade back. You know, all of these things will affect like the stop loss that's just been hit, the loss you've just made. It's going to affect your next trade. And if you don't think the market knows that, you've got to think what are the institutions and the banks doing? Playing on people's emotions. They are watching, waiting, you know. They will purposely move price in one direction because it will stop out the most amount of people to them fire in the exact direction that all of those people thought it was going to go in the first place. Now, what does that do? Fucking gets people revenge trading because they knew it's worse. It's the worst situation that you knew you were all right, but you got stopped out, and now it's gone all the way to your take profit 5, whatever. Like that fucks people off. That drives people nuts. Like that, and that's the worst one. Now, what are you doing? You're like, fuck, I was right. I was fucking right. You know, realistically, I look at that and I'm like, fucking crafty bastard. You know, and then I forget about it. I'm done. Like whatever. Rinse and repeat. Go to the next trade. I don't care. I don't care. It's going to stop me out. I know it's going to stop me out. I'm very comfortable with it stopping me out. Keys of discipline. Follow the plan. No exceptions. You know, these might be quite easy things to sort of say, but like, I know it's harder than it sounds. You know, so that's just kind of getting to like you know, within the groups, we're following trade signals, right? So follow the trade signals. They are the plan. They are the trading plan. No exceptions. You know, I think something as simple, like one, you know, something as simple as like always having a stop loss. I feel like it's very simple, and you should just always have a stop loss, you know, and you should have a set amount of risk. But another kind of one like that is just not taking any other trades that aren't part of the trading plan or what your trader's giving you. Your trader is giving you these trades from his trading plan that's proven to work over long periods of time, because realistically that's the game. Long consistent profit, you know. So just big fat no. Don't take any other trades. Don't like, oh, it stopped me out there, but it looks like it's going to turn around. Don't give a fuck. Have you been told to buy or sell? No? Sit on your hands. Fixed risk, always. No emotional increases. So that's what we spent an hour talking about last week, risk management. You know, so much. These 4 weeks that we've done now are the 4 big factors of trading, but we're like risk management. There's so much in risk management. Like I talked for an hour last week about it, and I could have talked for another one, which is mental because, to be honest, before the Zoom, I was like, it doesn't seem like there's much to talk about, but there's so much to talk about. How much that risk affects your next trade, you know, how much now creeping that risk up, and now you're just putting yourself out there to lose even more money. Like fixed risk, always work out what's my balance. Like tonight, you know, honestly, I know people ask like what time's the market open and stuff like this. I don't personally think people should be trading Sunday night. You know, I've never had anything good come of it, to be honest. Like realistically, you should be waiting for Monday morning, unless you know there is something that you know your trader's giving to you. But like, it's risky. It's very risky. It's a risky time to trade. To try and step out of those risky times to trade, you know. Yeah, fixed risk always. Like there should be no change. You know, like I was talking about last week, 5%. 5% should be your absolute max. That should be your max, even if your trader is moving a stop loss. You know, just to account for, you know, potentially a little bit more, giving the trade a little bit more room. But that's where, you know, you should be realistically risking 2 to 3%, giving you an extra couple of percent just in case you need to move a stop loss, like you're being told to, because that's part of the trading plan. See what I mean? So, you know, no one on any circumstances should be going over 5%. No way. No way. You won't get anywhere. And I feel like it's a really simple thing that we're talking about discipline and doing these things. These are just numbers. This isn't an emotional thing. I get there can be emotional into it, but realistically, they're just numbers you're inputting. So just be religiously disciplined with it, you know, over and over again. And again, you start to see the like the positive, like what the success from it, and people really do learn from that very, very well. Control your actions, not the market. You don't control outcomes, only behavior. And like this is just like, you don't control the market. Like the market doesn't care what you want it to do. It doesn't give a flying fuck. Like all you can control is your behavior. Realistically, you're getting given the trades. Respect the trades, trade them flawlessly. Like that should be your goal, to trade it as flawlessly as I can, to be able to enter in the range, you know, stick a stop loss 40 to 50 bits below the range or above the range, depending on buy or sell, and you've done everything you can. You've done what you're supposed to do. You know, even if that fires through a stop loss, you did everything right. You did everything right. It's like that's a fucking win in a professional trader's book. Like you've done the right thing. So yeah, don't feel like you control the market. Don't sit there hoping that something's going to happen. If you're sat there hoping, you're doing something wrong. Kill the loss. Kill it. Accept loss. That puts me nicely on to accept losses properly. Accept losses properly. How's everyone getting on with any audiobooks I recommended? Best Loser Wins, Tom Hugard. He's a former institutional trader that literally just talks about, I mean, he talks about tons of stuff, but like, talking about being able to lose properly. Because so much emotion comes from, I wouldn't say all the emotion, but so much emotion comes from losses. We lose and we react. Stop fucking reacting. you know? Like, cool. Downloaded it, ready to go. Stop reacting. Losses happen. There's no if you see any traders that are saying about like 100% win rates, utter bollocks, utter fucking bollocks. Like, yeah, you might have the odd day where you might take 5 or 6 trades and every single one of them's profitable. Wicked. You've had 100% day. They don't happen very often. You know what I mean? You're gonna have losses, and the losses are what will pull your account apart pretty damn quick because depending on how you react to them, it's so satisfying when you can take a loss, knowing you did everything right, then jump in the next trade and make that loss back plus a bit of profit. No harm, no foul. All good. Consistency over intensity. Small discipline daily beats big effort occasionally. That's just like going nuts with the chart, like over trading, over leveraging. And that's like you always want to be small, consistent profit. There shouldn't be the big wins. There shouldn't be this because a big win, a big win, like that you've over leveraged or too many positions, which is over leveraging, whatever, and you've now taken that all the way to TP5 plus more, you've made fucking 20%. Like, that's really detrimental to your long-term game. Was it Steve was saying, like aiming for 10% a day? That's fucking sick. Like 10% a day in trading terms, Jason will tell you the same, is mental. Mental gains. If you're doing 50% a week, that's mad. And you take that up accounts, up your account sizes. Yeah, I understand on a 500 or £1,000 account, kind of doable. But realistically, you're probably risking too much just because the numbers seem small. Take that up to a 100K account, all of a sudden, like you're playing with fucking fire and you're not going to be making off a 100 grand account 50 grand in a week. Nuts. It's utterly nuts. Like you'd be looking at making 3 or 4 grand, a few percent. And that's sick money, crazy money. So I'm very much in the belief that like you start off right, you finish right. If you stick to that pattern and actually build up, start right at the beginning. It's not going to take you long on £1,000 account. If you're risking 1%, it's not going to take you very long to get from £1,000 up to £10,000, which is the hardest bit. Like if you've done that right in the disciplined way, going from 10K to 100K is a lot fucking easier. Trading in the zone, listen to audio more than I've read. Yeah, I've listened to it 4 times. I'm not a reader. I'm not a like physical reader. Like it just my mind wanders. But if I've got it in my ears, I listen. So yeah, I mean that's a good piece of advice. If you're like go to where your strength is. If you're a book reader, get the book. Audio book, listen to it. Think and Grow Rich. Not started that book. Yeah, it's a good book. It's a good book. What's the other one? What's what's it called? Rich Dad Poor Dad. Good book. That's another really good book. Um, routine, routine is going to help discipline, you know? And I always used to talk about routine a hell of a lot when I was sort of teaching traders like that were having to find their own setups. You know, when I used to teach people like the full package of learning to trade. Jason teaches supply and demand. I'm more of a smart money concept sort of trader. But like when I was teaching people to do that, like the routine is so important. I mean, it's so important either way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing with it because but the routine would go much deeper because you would have to start doing things on the charts that had to be part of your routine as well. When realistically now you have everything there for you. You have the trading plan. Realistically, what I would advise is you check the news anyway. You know, any big news events, usually, someone will probably post about it. But you can get on Forex Factory, you can go on the calendar on there and just check the news. It's the first thing I fucking do every day before I move in front of the markets because, like, yeah, like there can be something, there can be anything, and as we know, markets can just shift from like news that's unplanned as well, which obviously you can do fuck all about. So, anyway, routine. You should be always thinking about this because this is going to help your discipline. One is a very quick assessment of yourself. Sounds weird, I know, but realistically, you should be asking the question, should I be trading? And it's a really fucking simple question. I don't know what's going on in your life. Nobody else is going to fucking know what's going on in your life. So you need to make the decision. Only you can make that decision. How did I sleep like shit last night? Did the kids wake me up 15 fucking times? Am I fucking knackered? Have I woken up and the first thing I've done is had an argument with the missus? You know, what like have I got insane stresses at work? Is my, am I, am I all am I there? Am all I think I'm thinking about is money? Have I got a massive bill to pay and I don't have the money for it? All reasons why you shouldn't be trading. You know, am I stressed out to fuck about anything? Should you be trading? No. Like you have to be in a good place. It's so simple if you think about it. Like if you're pissed off and you're just annoyed or anything. And you know how quickly, some of us can change from going from hot to cold. I know people that go and fucking take it out on the charts, which is mental. It's like you're not getting anywhere. You're gonna get cooked, You're not gonna get what you want from it. It's like somebody going into a casino and aggressively gambling. It's just not gonna fucking like that. What you're doing is dopamine hunting. You're in a horrible state. You feel shit. It's like reaching for a bottle. It's like reaching for a cigarette. You're reaching for dopamine. And to be honest, if you're hitting the charts like that, it's not going to work. It's going to make life worse. Imagine already being pissed off going on the charts and losing £1,000 because you fucking just over leveraged with zero stop loss in the hope and prayer that you could have hit a decent win to make you feel better. But would that have been enough? No, probably not. You probably would have fucking take a massive win. Amazing. That makes you feel better. I'm going to do that again. Bang. All gone. Assess yourself. And you have to be honest. You have to be honest. You can't sit there being, and the thing is, you're only lying to yourself. You're not letting anyone else down. You're not, you've got no one looking over your shoulder. You don't have to tell anyone. You have to be honest. You have to be honest with yourself. It's only you you're hurting. Like it's self-sabotage shit. It's only you that you're going to be hurting. Number two, though, consult your journal. What journal? Some people say. But I think this is just a really good pattern. If you get into journaling, which I think is absolutely vital with trading, like writing down your emotions, writing down your, trying to spreadsheet some of your profits, even just daily profits with a couple of notes about, didn't stick the rules, like took 3 trades that weren't in the trading plan, blah, 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 and you start to see like, okay, on that day, I was pissed off in the morning. I came out with a £50 loss. On that day that I took three extra trades that weren't even given to me, I just about managed to scratch break even. But on that day that I stuck to the trading plan and I was really fucking proud of myself, I was £200 up. You know what I mean? Like, that's in the simplest fucking terms. But like, you start to have that information over months. And I said this on the other lives. I just had such an ego not to journal. Like, I just didn't do it. I just didn't. I was just like, I hate writing. I hate putting pen to paper. I've had carpal tunnel surgeries. I don't like, I get cramp from writing and stuff, and I don't want to do it. But then I started using that as a fucking superpower because I didn't want to write it down. So I was writing down, like, I was really, really taking care that I like, if I wanted to write down that I was making profit for the day. I didn't want to be writing unnecessary shit about trades that I'd taken or this or that or blah blah blah, and I didn't want to be writing down that other another loss for the day, you know, and that information started, I started consulting my journal and seeing my patterns. It honestly just push through the pride, push through the ego, just fucking do it. Put pen to paper. What have you got to lose? Literally, what have you got to lose? You don't even have to do it on a pen to paper. Put it on the notes in your phone. I think pen to paper is better because it's that brain to hand, like writing kind of thing. Whereas instead of tapping it into your notes, I think it's a bit better. Know your risk. Back to the risk management. Know your risk. It's simple. You're going to have an account balance. You're not going to risk more than 5% at the very fucking max. You should be risking 2 to 3% realistically. And that's it. That's it. That's that one done. Tick. Know your plan. The plan's there for you. Again, going back to like people trading multiple groups. Mute all the other ones. Stick in the one you like, the one that works for you. Know the plan exactly. Like, for example, in Jason's group, I see people that have been trading and then asking the questions. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I've been trading it today, but what should the stop loss be? Or how big is the range? Or where should I be taking profit? Why the fuck are you trading if you don't know these things? You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I mean, I don't mean to like patronize or anything like that, but I'm like, I come at it from the other side. I've been there. I've been in this game for 10 years. And like, I totally get people are going to do it. Like 100% they're going to do it. But I want to, we want to help, like, you not do it. So like, simple things, know your plan, knowing the plan, know how it works. So then you can execute with precision over and over and over again. Just keep executing. Yeah, I mean, that's what you should be proud of. Being able to say at the end of the day, I smashed every fucking trade today. And, I came out in profit. I didn't falter. Like, that's where we want to be. I always go back to this amateur versus professional. I just think it's just a really good thing to have in your head. Like a mental block. I don't want to be an amateur. I want to be a professional. I want to be someone that takes money from this. Basically, the definition of a professional: someone that gets paid for the thing that they're doing. A professional athlete, professional boxer, professional anything. Professional bricklayer, professional carpenter, whatever. If you're an amateur, hobbyist in your shed, you're probably not getting paid. If you're an amateur boxer, you're probably not getting paid. And I think it's just a great little, like, I've got people that make good money. But realistically, like I'm not saying on a daily basis. Yes, you can have a great day, but then you have a shit week. And if you're not consistent and you're having a shit month, and at the end of the year you're down, are you a professional or you're an amateur? You're going to be an amateur if you're down. I think it's a great mental block because everyone wants to be a professional. Until you're making the money and taking an income from it, you're just an amateur. Just three simple things there. Like, an amateur overtrades, an amateur chases the market, an amateur focuses on the money. Professional waits patiently, waits for the trades to come through, executes the plan, with precision, focuses on process, focus on the process, focus on did I do the best I possibly could with that trade? Have I assessed my risk? Am I risking the correct amount of money? Did I make sure that I checked myself before I started trading today? Am I giving myself the best possible makeup to make money today? You know, and that's where you should get that real satisfaction from, is those things, because then win or lose, you did everything right. And I can't stress that enough. Like, I've had that conversation with people plenty of times. Like, like how was your, like, if someone's had a loss of a day and it's like, well, let's try and break it down a bit. But then they've hit every trade like they should have. They managed their risk properly. And obviously it wasn't a great day, like in one of the market in one of the groups, which happens. Fuck me, it happens. The market is not going to give you a winning day every single day. And then I say, mate, you've done everything. You should be proud of yourself that you had a losing day and it wasn't a fucking insanely losing day. You didn't blow an account. You had like a 5% loss for the day, 10% of the worst loss. They're like, oh yeah, but I could have been. I don't give a fuck. You followed the trading plan. You did everything. You executed perfectly. So that's where we should be. That's what we should be aiming at every single time. So putting it all together. So like I said, over the last 4 weeks, I really think that like these 4 sessions have been such a good overview as to everything that we need to actually, you've got all the tools to make a success of this realistically. Like it's all there. Um, I can't make you do it. I can't make you do it. It's totally up to you. I feel like I've laid it out well. Um, and we'll go over it again. Believe me, we'll keep going over it. Mindset stuff, you just have to keep visiting. Like you really do. You have to keep going back and checking on yourself. Like you have to, for example, like I read Trading the Zone 4 times back to back, audiobook every time. Over the last 10 years. I've read multiple other books multiple times. I listen to them when I'm in the car by myself. I listen to them any chance I kind of get, and you will always take something else from it. You will always take something else from it. And just a real great place to just check in with yourself. So what we've done over these 4 weeks, mindset. That first session we did was realistically aimed at controlling expectations, controlling what we want from this. Am I going to get fucking rich overnight? No, you're not. Am I going to get rich in a week? No, you're not. What is the expectation? Long-term consistent profit. Turn it into a job, turn it into something that's going to make you money consistently, that you can consistently grow. Because realistically, it's a fucking insane thing, isn't it? Like, what else? What other thing? Tell me that is out there that you can make a business out of and begin doing within an hour. It's there, it's on the plate. You just have to control everything you put into it. Again, it's a lawless thing. And that's what they hope on you not getting the hang of. Like the institutions, the banks, they want retail traders, which is basically what we are, money, So be in the small percentage, be the ones that sort of that are doing all the things that we need to do, all the things I've gone over the last 4 weeks. The next one was emotions and controlling them. So we're controlling our expectations, we're controlling our reactions. So that emotions one was all about self-awareness. Start thinking about you, how you feel, not anyone else, not someone else that's in a chat, how they reacted. You. They're not going to make you money. Nobody else is going to make you money. It's you. It's up to you. Completely up to you. No one else is going to help you. Like me, Jason, whatever can do is lay these things out for you. It's up to you to pick the pieces up and use them. I had to do exactly that. I had to do exactly that. I had to put my pride, my ego down. I had to start fucking listening to my peers, because by the end of it, everything they fucking told me was true. Everything. All these stupid fucking things that I was just like, no, I know better, when I fucking did not. So we're controlling expectations, we're controlling reactions, we're protecting capital. That was our risk management. We're protecting capital. And then the big fucking D At the end, discipline executes everything. Put it all together, execute. Put it all together, execute. Put it all together, execute. Over and over and over again. Without discipline, everything we have covered is useless. Think about that. Think about that. Everything we've covered over the last 4 weeks, it's useless. That's how important discipline is. Like that's how big it is. Everything you need, you already have. The question is will you actually follow it? Will you actually do it? You know? So, coming to the end of this 4 weeks, again, we're back to discipline. I just see discipline as the thing that like it's the bubble around everything with this. Discipline over dopamine is something that I thought of ages ago because it's just like you chase dopamine, right? You want your fix. It's a hormone. It's a drug in your brain, basically, like serotonin. It's like feel good drugs, isn't it? And we're chasing that dopamine all the time. We're chasing that hit. As soon as you get that out of the way, get rid of that dopamine addiction, discipline becomes so much easier. You know, stop trying to chase a huge win just to make you feel better. Come on, come on, you can do better than that. Discipline is what turns potential into results. We have given you have the potential. Every single one of you that has jumped into this because you wanted something else, this has the fucking potential to change your fucking life in a big way or a small way, like whatever you want to do. And when I say a small way, I mean just a small extra income that's really going to fucking help right now, I would imagine. It has the potential, and discipline is what will turn it into results. Most traders fail, not because they're bad traders. They fail because they refuse to be disciplined. Refuse to be disciplined. You know? Madness. I don't even think it's always a refusal. I think it's people just don't quite know. Well, I think people think it's just going to be an overnight thing. And it's like, right, I'm going to be like, who's thinking today? Like, right, new week next week. I'm going to be fucking disciplined. I'm going to do everything that Leon has told me to. I'm going to stick to everything that Jason says. I'm going to stick to everything that the gold standard does, and I'm going to smash it. You know. And then very quickly, say you have a couple of losses on a Monday, all that goes out the window. That's your discipline gone with it. It's gone. You know. That's all it is. As soon as you've had a couple of losses, now you're jumping in. Now you're revenge trading. Like, yeah, you've now lost it. No one is stopping you. No one is holding you back. It is down to you. You have everything you need. You have everything you need. So let's just make it happen. Yeah. Anyone needs a hand, anyone needs help, message me. Like you have a community chat within Jason's group. Anyone else that's in my group, please feel free to message me. Even had it this week. Actually, I had someone message and they wrote me out a message explaining what their problem was. And then they quickly wrote a message after it saying, well, I've literally just written out my problem. So I'm going to work on that. Honestly, it's all it takes sometimes. But yeah, no, like discipline, guys. Let's just have that in the back of our mind. Always be thinking about it. Yeah, if you haven't watched the first three of this series, then watch those as well. And there's nothing to stop you watching them over and over. Realistically, go back to it. Don't think one watch of these things is going to change everything for you because it's not. Think about your day-to-day life. That's something that changed for me. That really was. Like I started becoming successful actually at quite a difficult time of my life. Like when, like through being tired and not getting sleep, like around when my daughter was born, and like I had to really work on the fact that like just to like contain that kind of like I don't know frustration and all these things, and that's when I just got really serious with it. I'm someone that hates not like standing in a queue. I'm fine doing that now. I can wait, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like literally out of trading, improve it in your life. Everything starts to sort of click a bit more anyway. So anyway, I could fucking waffle for ages anyway. So I really do hope you guys have taken a lot from that. I will speak to Jason and we'll continue doing some of these mindset chats because I do really enjoy them and I do think people do get a lot from them and I need to keep everyone in check. So but anyway, guys, have a awesome week. anyone needs anything, give me a shout. No, you're not a problem, not a problem. Thank you guys. Thank you for taking the time to jump on. Honestly, it's yeah, it's really, really big. So cool. Have a good week, guys. Take care.